I mean, like, I don't know what to say, but -1S and VOR are not mucking around. There is going to be a pretty much a full-on match for both teams. Very popular teams for VOR. VOR's gone out with double Ragnar, double Moskva, double Napoli, Kremlin, and Ohio, and also the -1S has gone out swinging with a Kremlin, Conqueror, Venetia, Napoli, 2 Moskvas, Darien, and 2 Ragnars. So I don't know about you folks. Hold on to your seats. This is a very tight and interesting battle. Now VOR and -1S, as you know, very strong rival teams between both sides. And I have to admit, for the first time seeing this as in action, I don't know what to tell you, but I think that could be an interesting battle to the finish for the grand finale. So the grand finale is now it, folks. -1S versus VOR. Anything can happen. So right now, as you can see, like the VOR is actually moving around the corner over here. With the Ragnar, Daring, and also the two Ragnars. So that one Ragnar is going towards Charlie, one Ragnar and Daring is actually going to Bravo, and it should be all going well. Looks like the Moskva, the Napoli, and one Moskva is going to secure over Bravo. The Kremlin and the Moskva are actually moving across, and so anything can happen here. So this is actually a pretty intensive battle here between both sides. I don't know what to say, but just by looking from different angles, -1S is actually playing it cautiously for their own sake as well. So if you look at it over here, they actually sent out a Ragnar, 2 Ragnars going over hard over sea, and they actually making a pretty solid push with the Novesnia, Conqueror, and Napoli to get over there as well too. Why are they shooting random fire at them in the middle of the water? That's a good question. It keeps VOR guessing, I guess. The Moskva is actually going to hide over towards the B cap, and also the Kremlin and the Moskva are actually moving up. So anything can happen. So anything can happen. So it looks like the Darien is actually going to Alpha. So anything can happen between two teams. This is a pretty interesting battle. So I'm going to actually fire up a prediction between in chat here. So I don't know about you, but what do you think? I mean, like chat. Do you think VOR is going to win, or do you think that -1S is going to win? So let's just see what the battle is going to be. So who will win this battle, VOR or -1S? I'd like to see what your thoughts are, folks, in chat, so go for it. Alright, so here is a very interesting gameplay. VOR has actually put themselves over at Bravo, and they're basically just starting cap. What the? VOR just lost a Ragnar. -1S just focused fire and blew that Ragnar out the water. -1S is actually going in there. Oh boy, that is unexpected and right in the beginning. So I don't know about you folks, but this is interesting. VOR is actually gone back and violently gone back swinging, and basically they start focusing fire at each other right now. So holy crap, the Napoli is actually getting the focus fired on, and even though he's been smoked, he's actually trying to do the best he can to actually start kiting. So it looks like the Ragnar and also the 2 Ragnars of -1S actually focusing fire on him. The Conqueror and the Venetia and the Napoli were really getting out there to focus fire on the Napoli as well, but it looks like they missed shots, so anything can happen between both sides. Mate, I don't know what about you, but I think this is going to be very unexpected moment here. But yeah, I mean, like I can tell that this battle is very intense already. So it looks like the VOR has gone back swing with 2 caps already, despite all losing the Ragnar. So can they actually come back and come back swinging? So anything can happen though. But it looks like a pretty good match so far. But looks like I don't know. I mean, like it looks like -1S is actually kind of around the corner here, and VOR is actually making a maneuver over towards a tactical attack on A, but it doesn't happen at the moment. Bravo is actually happening at this stage, and also Charlie, so anything can happen on both sides, so anything can happen. But the two Napolis over at VOR and Charlie are actually getting focus fired on at this stage, so anything can happen. Torps are in the water, then -1S actually just playing conservatively. They're actually moving back at this stage for the Venetia, Conqueror, and Ragnar and the Napoli, all just, you know, waiting for the right moment to strike. The VOR and Ragnar is actually moving around the corner over at the south side of Charlie, but looks like the Ragnar and -1S is actually taking the opportunity to take the cap. So anything can happen here, folks, but that was really unexpected. But they're exchanging fire back and forth at this stage and over an alpha cap, and anything can happen on both sides. Sorry. But yes. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. I mean, like, I just had to make sure everything's all sweet. But that was an interesting moment in the battle. But VOR versus -1S, this is intense. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like this can be you know, interesting turn of events. That wait a minute, anything can happen here. Ooh, what can VOR do is a good question. The daring of -1S is getting focus fired on over here on the one line. So anything can happen. Can VOR take the opportunity and take the caps over an A? Anything can happen. They're moving in to the Moscow and the Kremlin are moving together, and looks like they can. But the Moscow is actually getting focus fired on at this stage. Anything can happen. But mate, this is unreal. Both sides are really pushing hard. Charlie's actually not being pushed by VOR at this stage. They actually, you know, probably hanging back since they lost their teammate over at Charlie, so they're wondering what to do next. A is actually being really focused hard on at this stage. The Moskva over in Bravo are just hanging in there, so anything can happen at this stage. So anything can be really in play here, so anything can happen. But, you know, that's unreal, you know, like seeing what they're doing right now. Damn, come on, -1S and also VOR, give us a good match. Let's see what is going to happen. Anything can happen, folks. This is actually pretty intense to see how both gameplays are going on at this stage. I mean, like, I don't know about you, but it actually is pretty, like, full on. So just bear with us, folks. I mean, like, anything can happen, will happen. As you know, shenanigans are real. And it can be like that, so I don't know about you, but I'm just actually unexpected to see this. So anything can be breathtaking on both sides. So at the moment, this side, I don't see anything happening over C, but anything could happen over here, over this side over, and -1S over an A. But there's Daring and the -1S, two very good teams. Both of them are my favorites, and it's a privilege to see them both in action. I cannot stress it enough how good this match. So good luck, folks. I mean, like, I don't know who it is going to win this battle for the first round, but it looks like the -1S Moskva is going down, and he's just died into the hands of the VOR Moskva at long range. So anything can happen here on both sides. Whoa, okay, this is a mouthful. It's like A is almost in the hands of VOR, and it's getting close. Capture secured. Okay, so VOR has taken the cap there over an A. Bravo seems to be okay, nothing's really happening. Charlie is nothing happening. VOR has abandoned C. VOR has abandoned C. Ohio, wait a minute. The Ohio is running. The Ohio is running. Okay, so the Ohio is running from the Napoli and also the Conqueror. So he's left on his own. His team. Oh, that Ragnar ate a nice torp and really got smashed there. So so anything can happen here. Yeah, to be honest, if the VOR Ragnar could come back into sea, it'll be an interesting gameplay. But they don't know yet. They have to regroup and actually focus their effort and firepower over its A and B cap. So anything can happen here, folks. Wow, I mean, like, I never seen this like this before. They're fighting for desperation. VOR is actually focusing fire really hard over at the Kremlin here, -1S. -1S is actually holding the line and kiting back with the Kremlin and the Daring, kiting back from A. Meanwhile, over at the Moskva and also the Ragnar and Venetia over in Bravo are actually moving in to try and secure Bravo, but I don't think they can yet at this stage. They need some fire support. But looks like -1S is too spread out at this stage. The Napoli and the Conqueror are gone into focusing, trying to lure that Ohio out of the way. The Ohio and VOR is actually definitely distracted them at this point in time in the battle. The Ragnar is coming over, -1S are over to from C to B cap. So to try to help out his teammates, so anything can happen here. There's another ship that's just gone down. The Kremlin has gone down for -1S, thanks to the VOR Kremlin. So anything can happen here on both sides, folks. I don't know about you, but this is actually a pretty intense battle. So honestly, this match is actually pretty intense. Just by seeing it, I'm just like, you know, not 100% sure what it could go for either way for both sides. I mean, like, both are very good, strong teams, and they can fight pretty well together. So communication is key in this battle between both sides in this battle. I don't know what's going to happen next. It could be a possibility that the Moskva and the -1X could go down. I don't know. Anything can happen. I mean, like, it's shenanigans are real. Anything can happen here. But honestly, it is a real opportunity and privilege here by both sides, so anything can happen. It looks like a very impressive battle in both sides at this stage, so I can see that the -1S has actually done a great job, you know, at this stage. Whoa, radar's been fired up by the Moskva, and he's probably spotted all the -1S players over near B cap, so they actually start focusing fire at long range. Moskva and VOR is actually starting to kite and move forward because he's actually showed his bow towards him. Okay, so A cap is pretty much secured and by VOR, but VOR has to make a move to get over and regroup over at Bravo and see what they can do, because most of the fight's going to be really intense at over Bravo. There's 7.5 minutes left in play. VOR is still in the lead, despite of losing their Ragnar player early in the match, so anything can happen here, folks. The other cap is actually still in cap right now. It's getting capped right now. I don't know. It's like a very interesting scenario right now. So the audience thinks that VOR is going to win, so we'll see if you're right, folks. Anything can happen, but hold on to your seats. There's a lot of crossfire from the Napoli going to the Conqueror at this stage, and the Napoli is actually really kiting, and he's desperately kiting and trying to hang in there. He's smoking himself and kiting as much as he can. So I don't know about you, but this is actually a really intense battle. Oof, this is like unreal. The second Napoli VOR team has actually come to the crossfire party, and it's actually taking a charge towards the -1S player. What is his plan? Oh, hang on. Is there a ram in progress? Maybe not. It looks like they're going to really hard, you know, full on in each other here. Is it a possible torp attack? Maybe. We don't know. It looks like the VOR team is actually going around the corner. Oh, there's a possibility of a ram here. VOR is taking evasive action, and torps are going to water and taking out the Conqueror. The Conqueror did not succeed in actually getting the Napoli. And then ram there, and VOR has taken the lead in the big swing right now. What a great push decision maker right there. And looks like they're actually making a very good hard push and trying to hang on the caps on B and A. So at this stage, that -1S is actually holding back. I don't know what's going to be the next move. I really don't know at this stage. But yes, it's just unreal. I can see it. I can see it right here. That both sides are doing very well, and they're firing the guns at long range, and they're doing a great job to where they are right now. And VOR is taking the lead in that battle. So well done to VOR. So VOR has scored that and is also the winner of that battle. So congrats to VOR, and then we'll see you soon on the next battle and shortly. So let's go back to the stream team and then see what they say on the panel.
I mean, I can watch this every day, and I can kind of feel of which team's going to be able to come and claw back. And VOR just is like, well, you know what? We might have lost one ship there. We might not have the contestation here. We're down by 200 points, and we're gonna play our game. We're gonna win this. Just so focused in the way. So for me, it's always the way they're able to. I don't know. So whoever is the shot caller in VOR's team, on who is the focused point. I'm 5 minutes behind right now. I'm watching the Kremlin get focused from 6 ships, 7 ships, and the Napoli just pretty much just edging straight in, not really taking a lot of damage. However, he come into the fight with significantly lower amount of HP.
Just letting
both
teams are swapping over.
You made a comment during the match itself about luck being a factor in this game. How if it was any other team, you would have called it luck. I'd say luck is a factor, but what tends to happen with a lot of these teams is they don't hold on long enough for luck to turn their way and capitalize on it. What sets VOR apart from what I've seen is they might have a string of bad lucks, but they don't let that affect them. They hold on, they make the best plays they can in the situations they've been given, and eventually it's going to turn, right? Eventually luck is going to swing against -1s, and VOR are there to capitalize upon it when that happens.
I mean,
what's the old saying from Rocky 3? It's not about how hard you hit.
Just a heads up, VOR and 1s are swapping over.
It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you. It's not
about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. And that's exactly
how winning. How done.
That's exactly what we saw from VOR. VOR came out and they got punched directly in the jaw. Classic Noun got deleted in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
I think it was 4 salvos. I was counting.
VOR don't care. They're like, okay, cool. We're in probably the worst starting position possible. Our Napoli, he's been chunked for half of HP. Doesn't matter. Moskva's down to 16 HP. Doesn't matter.
Mouth away from your mic. Getting too excited again.
So excited. It doesn't even matter. VOR just unbeatable. Like, it doesn't matter. They're just like, oh, okay.
All I heard from that one was,
no, but what I'm saying, right? VOR in the worst possible situation. They lose their Ragnar in 4 salvos. Doesn't matter. Their other Napoli gets chunked to half his HP. Doesn't matter. Their Moskva gets chunked down to 16 HP. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Well, I do want to talk about one point. There was the point when the Napoli went against, was it the Kremlin? And dropped the torpedo rack. Every single torpedo hit, and then somehow, at what was it, the split second? I think it must have been
the Ohio,
the Ohio. And then he had those guns just turn around just in time to be able to take the pick. Those are the moments that I love from VOR. It's almost like it shouldn't work. It is 9 times out of 10, you would not be able to get around in time. But he's like, all right, old mate's going to rotate around me. He's going to drop his torps. I'm going to start aiming this way. And I think Sherps, you said that his front guns reloaded before his rear guns.
Yep. AR kicked in because he was already down to 14k. So I'll have to do the math again, but I think it's a sub 20-second reload by that point.
Insane, man. That's insane skill. And not only skill, but insane luck, I suppose, because you never really know what a team's going to do. You can have a good angst of exactly what they're going to do, but you never really know until you see their hands played on the table. Kiwi, what do you think?
Just that match went so differently to what I thought it was. I actually thought VOR might have actually had a chance to lose that match, to be honest. Just the way they lost those ships in the beginning, but they pulled that around so smoothly. And yeah, 1 minute they were down, and the next minute 300 points up in front.
it's funny because I literally go into every game that VOR plays, and I'm like, we're going to see VOR lose here. VOR's going to lose this one. And then every time I come out going, okay, well, guess they were just testing the waters, so to speak. Rev, what do you think?
I was actually very intrigued how -1S did not take the initiative to actually go against VOR. Like at the beginning, when VOR lost that Ragnar, who blasted the Ragnar out of the water in the first, minute and a half of the game?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even a minute, was it? It was like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took about a minute to get to positions, but I actually think -1S did the right thing here
Yeah.
against their opponent. They understand how VOR plays, right? So, I've got a replay up, by the way. I think
Yeah.
their plan was to make them pay for every inch of map positional advantage that VOR tries to get. VOR likes to do this. See, they go all in on the cats at the start, basically pushing in on all sides, and then squeezing out caps, and then waiting for the enemy to counter them here, but then counter punching them again. It's the counter punch that really hurts. That is really strong. And I think -1S is content to let VOR do that at the start, and then make them trade HP as dearly as possible. And I mean, they were extremely successful. They got a Ragnar pick, and if we fast forward here a bit, they got the Moskva on the 1-2 line, basically to no health at all. But they weren't able to really gain back the initiative after getting that advantage. So, very well played on VOR's part. Very, very well coordinated. Very cool on the fire. Very good to see.
I think that's the hallmark of VOR, though, right? The aggressive play style, but they also play kind of an aggressively passive game. And what I mean by that is they push at the start, they get a strong position, and then they let -1S play their game, but it's the extreme, precise focus fire that just impresses me by, like,
On both sides, really. I mean, if you were against another clan, and even if you had like 4 or 5 ships on Overwatch, and the Ragnar pops up, can you really be sure that you will be able to finish him off? Or will half your first salvos be not zeroed in and just straddle him?
Well, so I have to
seen it happen quite a lot.
I have to actually pay credit rather to -1S, because once Classic Neon got taken out, they could have actually pushed in, but knowing the opposition they're against for, and knowing they probably have a plan, they'll probably push in quite aggressively into the cap. They chose to back out of it and then kind of consolidate themselves. They got the kill, they got the win, they had the upper hand there. And they knew that when VOR was going to rotate back into the cap, they were going to push into the cap and then pull straight out. And then you saw the counter, I think it was from the Ragnar, push straight in as well. So I think you're right. Like, these guys know each other, the back of their hand, so to speak. But I mean, VOR is just so good. I think something that really separates these two teams is that I just really like how VOR, like Porky said, can consolidate fire on one single target. It seems like they get themselves, I don't know if they get themselves into position, or it's their calls, or they just call a single target as the focus fire. Every single time I see VOR play, it's always at least 3 to 4 ships on one single ship.
Yep.
Every time.
The next match is about to start.
We're heading.
Well, just before we get into it, what do we always say in high tier clan battles? Not that we play high tier clan battles, but you want to get a pick on a DD early and caps. And -1S basically achieved that. Like, and it doesn't matter to VOR. It's like, whatever.
That's exactly what happened.